Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. So I ended up stepping away from a PVR rewatch of AEW Dynamite because I was kind of compiling some notes from my other YouTube channel that I don't talk about too much. But anyway, I thought I would step away for a moment because I quickly caught this on Instagram and thought I would share it with you since it's probably going to make the rounds probably by morning. So if you check out the PSA card Instagram page, and I'll put a link to it in the description specifically to the post as well. If you check out the second post right here, and I'll leave you a link to it. This was about 23 minutes ago from the time I'm recording this. So if you can see what's paying attention, what's happening on the left side of the screen there. And here it is coming up right now. $18 bulk. So obviously we don't have information yet. I had heard that this was something upcoming. It was imminent, not shortly, a little bit earlier tonight. But obviously PSA card has decided to introduce it this way, which is very funny. And now take a look here. $15 TCG, and I'd heard that as well. So now the only part we don't know about as far as the bulk grading is concerned. The bulk grading is concerned, we don't know what the limits are going to be on that. And right now, as you can see from this piece, it's a Collectors Club exclusive for these two things, which obviously we knew as they started to ratchet things down, there were going to be limitations. So we'll find more about it in the next couple of hours in the morning and everything. And there'll be more videos coming up about it. But the big bottom line is $18 bulk grading. Probably, if I was going to guess, $199, value fee, if I was going to guess. And then obviously $15 TCG, and we'll see what kind of limits or anything they place on that. But that's good for the TCG market, which they've been doing actually very well on, so that's pretty smart. And Collectors Club exclusive. So at first, you know this is going to be part of it. The bulk submitters, of course, are going to have a piece of that as well, so we'll see what prices they end up coming out with as well. But it is a step in the direction of what we talked about. It's one of the things where I said there's no sense in like concerning oneself and freaking out too much about the price point, because if the price point wasn't working for you, the likelihood is it was going to keep ratcheting downward as they try to find that sweet spot between turnaround time, price point, and what is the most profitable. So this is just a step down. The $22 was a step headed downward. Now, this is something that's not included in this, but it would not shock me if it ends up being $199 declared value. It wouldn't shock me if that $199 at $18, and then at $22, $23 or so, you end up getting that higher tier and you adjust it that way. Create another tier kind of in the middle. And that wouldn't shock me too much if it was going to be the case. The $15 TCG grading, my understanding is that it was a special. So we'll see if both of these are meant to be specials or if one or both are going to remain on the docket going forward. The $18 bulk though, I think will be one that continues going forward. But that's just something we'll talk about more in the coming days. Good timing, since obviously coming up tomorrow on the PSA Canada YouTube channel, I'll be doing a video with Brad, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. Now the PSA's announced it, we can probably get some more details, hopefully by then, and then we'll be able to clarify. So I'm just doing this on my channel based on what I'm being given right here. I had heard a little bit of information about it, but now I'll try to get some more details overnight and see if we can find out and talk about that more on the PSA Canada YouTube channel and see if we can get some more info. Beyond that, going forward, it'll be interesting to see how that ends up falling in, which one of these price points, if it all becomes a permanent going forward. Curious if you have any thoughts about this, if the $18 thing, now we've crossed below that $20 per card threshold. Obviously, Collectors Club membership means that the bulk graders will have access to this as well, depending on what price points they end up doing. But as soon as you cross past that $20 threshold, I'd be curious if that makes any difference to you. The $15 TCG thing, whether it's a special or ongoing, that's a great thing, because that is a category that has been growing well for PSA, so it doesn't shock me that they would want to keep emphasizing that section of the marketplace. And Collectors Club does not shock me at all as an exclusive for now, because obviously that's the way they do their business. Curious if that does anything to move the needle for you, if there's anything that you weren't quite sure about at 22 bucks that maybe becomes a lot more interesting at 18 or not. And curious to see if you think, and this is a separate from the PSA angle of it, curious to see if that finally puts enough pressure to start moving some prices down on some of the other graders. CSG obviously did a 20% thing recently. Beckett had done a thing not long ago. The only holdout right now is kind of SGC. That's the only player in the space that really hasn't made any moves as far as price point was. That'll be something interesting going forward. Curious to get some of your thoughts. Throw them in the comments section. Otherwise, that's it for now. More videos coming up on the channel. Live stream, 8 p.m. Eastern time, as is usually the way. We'll talk about this or any other topics that come up. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you in the next one.